So, it was another big day on Wall Street. Rate cuts, tech earnings, and, well, a few surprises in between. Hey everyone, it's Thursday morning, October 30th, and welcome back to Capital Markets Quickie. I'm your host, Endrit Sella, here to break down yesterday's market action in just 2 minutes. Quick note before we dive in. Today's episode is brought to you by AMF Capital Asset Management Frankfurt. Learn more about our funds and strategies at amf-capital.de. Alright, let's get started. Now, the big story on Wednesday was the Federal Reserve. The Fed cut rates by a quarter point. That's the second cut this year. But Chair Jerome Powell made it pretty clear. Don't get too comfortable expecting another one in December. He called it far from a foregone conclusion. Stocks reacted kind of cautiously to that message. The Standard & Poor's 500 ended just slightly lower. The Dow slipped about 0.2%. And the Nasdaq managed to climb 0.5%, enough for yet another all-time high. Meanwhile, all eyes were on Nvidia again. The AI darling hit a record high after President Trump hinted he might ease some of the export restrictions that have been weighing on the company's China business. That pushed Nvidia's valuation past $5 trillion, the first company ever to do so. And then came the tech earnings flood, starting with Microsoft, Alphabet, and Meta. Microsoft beat revenue expectations with over $77 billion in sales and an 18% year-over-year jump. Still, its shares dropped more than 3% in after-hours trading after investors digested the details. Alphabet, on the other hand, absolutely crushed it. Revenue up 16% to $102 billion, with profits surging more than 30%. Google Cloud was a standout again. Shares jumped about 5.5% after hours. Meta's story, though, was a bit more mixed. Revenue climbed 26%, but the company's diluted earnings per share tumbled 83% as expenses ballooned. So investors weren't too thrilled with that one. And in other headlines, Starbucks reported quarterly revenue of $9.6 billion, up 5% year over year. Not bad, considering the consumer slowdown we've been seeing lately. So, yeah, a day full of Fed drama, trillion-dollar valuations, and tech fireworks. Let's see what the next round of Magnificent 7 earnings brings today. Alright, that wraps up today's Capital Markets Quickie. Join me again tomorrow morning for more market updates. See you then.